It's Sonic Saturday. Yo! Hey guys, welcome in. I'm Zordon of Doom. I'm a singer-songwriter and I make content here on YouTube. I also stream on Twitch and I have music up on Spotify, Apple Music, and here on YouTube. If you would like to check out anything that I have just said, anything that I do, any of my original music, like the one that is currently playing in the background, Stress Ball, all links are down in the description, and you will also see the links to all the videos that I react to down there as well. All the links courtesy of Zach Graham. Thank you for finding these for today's Sonic Saturday, and if you are new here, welcome. I do reactions to Sonic music every Saturday, and I've been alternating between two games, Sonic 06 and Sonic Adventure. And since I did Sonic 06 last week, this week is another Sonic Adventure. So let's get into it. So as you see by the title of this video, today is another character reaction. I will be reacting to Gamma and all things related to Gamma, I suppose. Oh, hold on. I just realized. This one's blue, but this one is not. Why is that not blue? Excuse me? Let's wipe it. There we go. Thank you so much, Zach Graham, for taking the time to not only look for the link, but also give me descriptions, write out context for me so I can understand Gamma more. But let's begin. Zach says, Gamma time. And before I start, I just want to clarify something that the comments have been so clearly worried about, being why I decided to give Gamma his own video, but not Big or Tikal, or any of the other characters. First of all, each character absolutely could have deserved their own dedicated video. In fact, most of them already have when they got their initial reactions. Yes, I did do separate reactions for each of them when I first started, because I was mainly just reacting to vocal themes. But now that I'm reacting to full OSTs, it's a little bit different. And yeah, Zach says this has nothing to do with favoritism or who's the better character. It's just, in Zach's mind, the main reason he grouped them in this way was for convenience, saving time. There's a lot of Sonic music out there to get through, and we've already been on adventure for a long time as it is. So, just trying to cut corners where he sees possible. And at the time that he sent the huge list, he wasn't sure what the end result would be, whether we'd be revisiting ones we've already heard or only new ones. But he figures either way, it was already going to be a huge video, which ended up being, yes, it became two huge videos. So adding Gamma's theme to that would only make it an even bigger video, especially with all the song descriptions. Now, if I were just linking Gamma's theme alone, it wouldn't make that big of a difference, but there's a good handful of other themes associated with Gamma that Zach wanted to group together. So that's why it would make the most sense to keep them separate from all the other themes that were just the character themes. And Zach says that he hopes everyone can see the method to his madness. I think it kind of makes sense, especially because it seems like there are 5 songs that I'll be reacting to today. So this does help, because I think my last Sonic Adventure video ended up being almost an hour long. So thankfully this isn't going to be as long, because it's not 12 videos. But I digress. Let us start with the first song, which is E102Y, Gamma's theme. So Zach's trying to explain the song without spoiling it too much, the storyline, but he says here, E102Y, otherwise known simply as Gamma, is one of the robots in Eggman's latest line of robots at the time, called the E100 series. They were created to generally aid Eggman in his misdeeds, but more specifically to search out and collect the Chaos Emeralds for him. Okay. Now you may ask, this just sounds like a regular group of enemies. How does this lead to Gamma being one of the game's playable characters? Well, to keep it vague, Gamma witnesses the event of Eggman being cruel and heartless towards his brothers, which sort of rewires his circuits to see Eggman as an enemy, rather than simply following the commands of its creator. And this is why you don't give your robots the ability to process thought and emotions. True. Thus, Gamma abandons Eggman and sets off on his own mission to free his brothers from Eggman's evil rule. That is a very interesting storyline. Huh. Okay, let's listen to Gamma's theme then. Alrighty, here we go. I am all set up. Theme of E102Y, Sonic Adventure. I'm guessing this is Gamma. Alright, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Kinda creepy start. Okay. There's a bit of a beat. I like how it slowly fades in. Ooh. Not what I was expecting. This is a vibe. Baseline is so interesting. These jazz notes. Feels like they've sort of mixed a few different like styles with this hip hop beat and then these sort of jazzy chords. But there's also a very hopeful melody to it. Also has some like electronic vibes. Obviously because he's a robot, right? curious, are you guys a fan of Gamma? The way it starts and the way it ends is so creepy. That was awesome. Alrighty, next up on the list, we have Versus E100 series. And Zach apologizes because there's no way to get around spoilers for this part. He says, Gamma realizes that the only way to save his brothers is to destroy them. Oh, which sounds harsh until he realized that by destroying their metal bodies, he's really setting free the animals, trapped inside that Eggman uses to power them. By the way, the full line of E100 series are as follows. E101 beta, E102. Oh, the Y is gamma. I'm dumb. It's not Y. I said Y earlier. Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining the comments of you guys pointing out that I said Y instead of gamma. That is not a Y. Oh my god. Okay. E102 gamma, E103 delta, E104 epsilon, and E105 zeta, as well as a few more only found in comics or spin-offs, but these are the main ones in Adventure. And if you're familiar with the character E123 Omega, he was the last of the E100 series, and is still a consistent part of the franchise to this day. Oh, that's cool. So that started from Sonic Adventure then. Here we go. Boss E-Series targets. Heartless Colleague. Sonic Adventure. In 3, 2, and 1. The guitar is cool. Hey! Interesting how there was a pause there. And here. It's funny because sometimes it makes me think like the song is going to end, but it doesn't. Very cool boss fight. I was ready to keep bopping. Nice. Alrighty, next up we have Versus E101 Beta MK2. Zach says, at the beginning of Gamma's story, when the whole E100 series is being introduced, Eggman holds a sort of tournament to see which of his creations has the best fighting capabilities, and we, as Gamma, are pitted up against Beta. Obviously, Gamma wins, leaving Eggman rather disappointed with Beta's performance. Soon after, Gamma accidentally stumbles into a room, where he sees Eggman and his machines tearing Beta to scraps, which is the incident I mentioned from before that leads Gamma to betray Eggman. What he didn't know at the time was that Eggman was actually tearing Beta apart so that he could rebuild him as a highly advanced combat machine. Hence, Mark II. That's not MK2, not Mortal Kombat 2, Mark II, I'm assuming. This is Gamma's final boss. After saving the rest of his brothers, he must now destroy his closest brother, who has been stripped of all emotions and feelings, and is nothing more than a deadly weapon at this point. Alright, and the next part I'll read after listening to the song. Alrighty, here we go. Boss E101R, Crazy Robo. In 3, 2, and 1. So far, the 3 songs that I've listened to, very consistent in that they start off not muffled, but like the volume is a lot lower, and then they fade in. theme? Supposed to be the saxophone? Whoa. This almost seems like a upbeat, I wouldn't say happy song, but there's something a little joyful about it. Ooh. And considering how tragic, or what Gamma witnessed, not what I was expecting from the song. Especially with its outcome. Hey! Like I could see this as a exploration song. This is dope. Hey. That was so interesting. I expected more minor keys to make it sound scarier or more urgent. So much fun. Zach continues, you'll notice that this song and Gamma's theme both started out nearly identical, then diverge into very different feeling tones. This represents how both Gamma and Beta started out the same way, simply as Eggman's henchmen, but they both divert onto two very different paths after the incident. This is very clever storytelling just through music alone. 100%, yeah. That's so interesting. Okay, next up, I think it's so funny that at the beginning, Zach was like, I'm gonna try my best not to spoil it. And then now we get to our next song, which is called Cutscene Unbound. And Zach says, I'm sorry. Big spoilers here, but the context is very important for the song. The spoilers progressively got worse. So Zach says, the final cutscene music in Gamma's story, which uses the motif of Gamma's theme. Gamma's mission to save his true family is complete, but not at the cost of his own life. With Beta's dying breath, or whatever the robot equivalent would be, he takes one final shot at Gamma, mortally wounding him. It's not explicitly explained in the game, but I like to think in that final moment, Beta came to his senses and understood what it was that Gamma was trying to accomplish by destroying him. And in turn, Beta saved Gamma by destroying him as well, just as he had done to the rest of his family before him. Aww, wait! That's so sad! Also, this is likely why Omega was later introduced, as a way to sort of carry on Gamma's legacy. I was about to say, I was like, interesting that Gamma is such a big part of Adventure, but you mentioned that Omega is the one that is known until now. That's so interesting. And also poetic that it's Beta that does it. Wait, but if that's the case, then isn't Omega technically an animal trapped in a robot as well? Wouldn't that explanation make it so that Omega should also be set free in a way? Or unless Omega's totally different and is just a robot. All right, here it is. Event Unbound. Oh, I wonder if this is going to sound emotional. The fact the title is called Unbound, meaning set free, is also very telling. But let's check it out. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Got this bluesy. Aww. Ooh. This song became even more complex. Way more complex. But it's like a send-off kind of song. Aww. Interesting. Yeah, the context definitely helped me understand it better. Zach continues, and I'd like to end on that somber yet wholesome note, but there's another member of the E100 series family. Next song is Versus E100. Zero. Okay. So despite being the earliest model of the E100 series line, Zero isn't really all that closely related to the rest of the E100 series. Likely built as the prototype to the later models, as his design is almost nothing like the rest. But nonetheless, his mission remains the same, to collect the Chaos Emeralds. One emerald in particular, which is being held by a little blue flicky. That flicky being the one that Amy finds stranded and alone at the beginning of her story, where she vows to return this flicky to its family, which is why Zero is constantly chasing Amy around during her story. Got it. Zero is also Amy's one and only boss fight. Oh, interesting. A fight that happens only shortly before Gamma's final fight with Beta. As when the two of them are destroyed, a pair of pink and yellow flickies are released and are reunited with their child, presumably. The blue flicky that's been with Amy the whole time. Oh! Their child is the blue flicky that's been with Amy the whole time. Got it. The other E100 bots had like parrots and peacocks in them, but only Gamma and Beta had flickies. So they truly were a family the whole time, and they never knew it. What? That's kind of cool. All right, here is the last song that I'm reacting to. It's called Boss Zero. Zero the Chase Master. Sonic Adventure. Here we go. Let's hear this in 3, 2, and 1. I wonder if it's going to have the same feel. No, it doesn't. Definitely different. I was like, are we going to get the piano again? Yeah, even music-wise, they're different. It's interesting that Zero has 2 flickies. Now this feels like a boss theme for sure. So this is Amy's boss fight. Hey! Go. Ooh! Interesting. I always wonder what goes through their heads as they're making these songs. It makes me wonder, like, what's happening in game or what's happening during the boss theme, that there would be like moments where it's just guitar, or like a moment of silence or something like that. When there's a solo, it's so fascinating. Heck yeah! Alrighty, guys. So next up, according to Zach, will be the remaining boss themes. Aside from anything relating to Chow themes, which he feels can get their own video, or probably two, considering all the versions of Open Your Heart will likely need to be their own separate video. Oh my goodness. Probably. But we shall see. Thank you once again, Zach, for doing this. And thanks to you if you've stayed till the end of this video and listened to all of the songs with me. What are your thoughts on Gamma and the E100 series? Characters, robots. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to all of the songs. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. And never ever forget that you are A-W-E-S-O-M-E. You are A-W-E-S-O-M-E. All right, everyone. I will see you in the next Sonic Saturday, but I digress. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.
Can I pretend we're not causing this pain? The world aglow with fire and snow. More wars for gold. Look how we never change our ways. Is there hope for tomorrow?